Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
Bwaaa!
Bwaaa trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey there, welcome to Bwaaa, King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty, Season 2, Episode 18, The Final Shinsult.
Yeah, another cotton
That's a real reach.
centric. Yeah, it's another cotton centric episode.
Super cotton.
You know what's cool about this episode as well, though?
What?
30th.
This is the 30th,
30th episode
Huh.
of King of the Hill, March 15th, 1998.
1998, yeah.
Yep.
First off, I want to address our Friday episodes.
Okay.
So our Friday episodes are, they don't get as many people listening to them as the Mondays.
But they're
But
great.
they do
They
okay.
do really good.
Yeah,
they do better.
fine.
They do better than our first
Sure.
episodes of
Oh,
just regular
yeah,
episodes,
yeah,
like
yeah.
our halfway through this.
I just don't want to freak anybody out because, like this last one, I did the dark timeline because you and I talked about
It did really good,
the
though.
reboot,
Yeah,
and it had a
metrics
weird
on that were really
graphic, and I just don't want anybody going, "Oh, these guys are freaking out." So.
I think that was great. I think everybody that interacted with me about that episode, it was positive. Everybody,
That's
loved
great.
that episode.
That's great. Well, I just want people to understand that Friday is kind of a let your hair down day, and we talk about King of the Hill. We're not going to go episode by episode on Fridays. It's just extra content, extra chances to talk about King of the Hill. Think
That's
about
it.
things
It's
that
just,
maybe you haven't thought of.
You know, for like they say in the old country, just chatting shit, mate.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
Just chatting. That's all.
I
like it.
When
I
you
like
said
those
that,
episodes.
I was like, "What country?" Oh, wait.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
English.
Got it. I've been watching that Welcome to Wrexham.
Welcome to Wrexham. Okay.
And that's in Wales, and they make a big deal to say that Wales is not England. It is its own country.
Yeah. They make a big deal about it. Well, that's all of the Wales and Scotland and stuff like that. They all say they're not part of.
Yeah. Well, they're part of
Commonwealth.
I didn't realize that there's Great Britain and England either. I mean,
there's Great Britain,
two different things.
Great Britain, which is the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
They're both the same thing.
Yeah.
So Great Britain is the island, and Northern Ireland.
Well,
United
and Wales.
Kingdom.
Wales is part of that.
Wales.
Yeah.
And Scotland.
Yeah.
And then
They didn't want to be.
United Kingdom is like the whole
But
kingdom.
they are. All right, so we are talking season 2, episode 18, the final
hold on.
Shinsult.
I don't think I said it on the last time I recorded.
What?
Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I said that.
R.I.P. QE.
God save the Queen.
Yeah, God save
right.
the king now.
Yeah, God save the king.
What's the deal
Long
with him having
live
sausage
the king.
fingers? People keep saying he has
He's
sausage
terrible,
fingers.
terrible health. I mean, when someone is putting your toothpaste on your toothbrush for you,
Is that what they have to do?
he
Oh,
is
wow.
the spoiled prince.
But think about it. They're all like there's that inbreeding.
Well, there's inbreeding, and that's a part of it. But
Yeah.
also, just I imagine he doesn't eat the best. You think he just eats super healthy? He eats whatever the hell he wants. I am Prince.
A lot of
Feed me
blood
ham.
sausage.
Feed me ham.
All right, so we start off in Tom Landry Middle School class, and Peggy is a substitute today. She apparently is in the history class substituting. She says, "Good morning, class. I will be substituting for Mrs. Dorland, who is at home recuperating from the hantavirus."
The hantavirus.
The hantavirus. Clark what's the hantavirus? So, well, Clark, it's a flu-like disease, usually contracted from rodent droppings.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then. Now, in preparation for our field trip, your classmates are going to act out a little-known episode of Mexican-American history.
Mexican.
The year is 1847. In comes marching Bobby, Joseph, and some other kid I've never seen. Joseph he's got the fake leg, one of the legs propped up behind him like Dorf.
Yeah.
And he is dressed like General Santiani.
Santiani, yeah. Or
he's like the only one.
Santa, as
he is the only one that pronounces it correctly. He says, "I am General Santa Anna. I led the Mexican army at the Alamo where we defeated Texas."
And all the kids
students boo.
Yeah.
Yep. And Bobby speaks up. "We are at the Battle of Cerro Gordo. 11 years later, and we are hungry. Sir, I will hold your artificial leg while you eat your chicken."
Yeah, so they're eating roasted chicken.
He hands Joseph a bucket of KFC, basically.
Yeah. They're sitting on the ground like Indian stuff, like their legs, cross leg, and they're sitting there.
In comes Stuart Dooley, and he stabs a kid with his fake bayonet and goes, "Attack." And Bobby says, "Look out, it's the Illinois Volunteer Infantry. Hop on, General." And he gives Joseph a piggyback ride off of stage.
Stole your fake leg.
I stole your fake leg. And the students all cheer. And so,
and you know what's funny, because I don't do the same thing you do. So my notes are just dialogue. I don't have people's names by them, but I knew exactly that was Dooley's without even listening to the episode. Just hearing, "I stole your fake leg." Yeah. That's a Dooley thing for sure.
Peggy says, well, that was beautiful. Here she is holding the fake leg the whole time. That was just inspired. The General's artificial leg has been on display in the Illinois Museum for over a century. But this year, America decided to return it to Mexico. Even as we speak, Santa Anna's real fake leg is making its way from museum to museum on its journey home. I guess you could say the Arlen Museum is the last leg of the tour. She just busts herself up and Peggy. And then it shows the class and nobody laughs.
And then we shoot
over to the alley.
We're in the alley, and then
back in the alley. And
Bill is just.
I have a question for you about the alley, by the way.
Okay.
It starts with Bill, and he says, "You see, that was 1976. In 1977, I did wear shoes."
Yeah.
I just love that. That's the
I
end
like
of the
that dialogue.
sentence. Yeah. And here comes a car speeding down the street. Now, this is my question about the alley. It doesn't seem like an alley. We always call it an alley because of the
it doesn't
fence.
seem like an alley. I don't know any of the alleys around where we're at. It doesn't seem like those kind of alleys.
No,
because a lot of the alleys
seems
that
like
we have here are really narrow.
Yeah,
and there's not enough room for even a trash truck to drive through some of these alleys that we have here.
It's almost
some of them you could barely get a bike through because they're so overgrown with grass and brush and.
It's almost like Hank's. Fence just backs up right to the street, and then they're just standing behind his fence on the side of the street.
Yeah.
Even though they refer to it as
a back street.
It's just a back street.
A back street. I mean, it's loosely an alley.
So
but it is behind the house though, because the front of the house is a whole seperate thing. Yeah. So
even though it gets mixed up sometimes, it's weird.
Yeah, it is a weird thing.
So car comes skidding down the street.
Again, we don't live in the area that this was modeled after. So
that's true.
If you go to Dallas and stuff like that, they do have alleys that are like that.
I just think it's whatever's convenient for the story is where they're at.
Yeah, if you go to the suburbs of Dallas too, though, or even like down in Houston, some of the suburbs like Humble, like they say, and
right. Is it humble or is it umble?
Umble.
Some people say umble.
Umble.
They don't say the H.
An umblebee,
which is always weird to me.
Is the B silent too?
Yeah,
on Bumblebee. It's an umblebee.
Well, it doesn't start with an
humble,
H,
Mike. Be humble.
Bumblebee with an H.
Yeah.
Humblebee. So a car comes skidding down the street, or / alley, whatever you want to call it. And Hank says, "Boy, that car's going fast. Doesn't he know the men drink in this alley?" See, there you go. He calls it an alley.
Yeah, he calls it an alley. That looks like your dad's Cadillac car.
Cadillac car.
Yeah.
I love that phrase.
And then I like Boomhauer. Yeah, man, that looks like dang old better hit the dirt, man.
Everybody hits the dirt except for Bill.
But you could hear the whole time, though, trash cans. The whole time the car's coming down the street, you can hear trash cans falling over. You can hear tires screeching.
The car comes up. Bill sees it coming. He's getting a beer out of the cooler, and he's like, and he's just frozen in fear. It hits the top of the thing
hits the
just
lid.
enough to close it.
Yeah.
He gets out and says, "Thanks, fatty. Don't mind if I do."
Grabs the beer, the half drink, open beer out of his hand.
That's right. Bill's just shaking. Hank says, "Geez, Dad, you almost dented the cooler."
Yeah, you can't
Not
dent the
worried
cooler.
about Bill.
You can't dent the cooler.
He says, "Where's Dee Dee? I thought your eyesight, she was doing all the driving."
Well, we had another fight. I threw her out.
Then we go to a flashback.
Yeah.
We got Cotton sitting in the lazy boy with his naked feet up in the air,
and Dee Dee appears to be getting ready for work. Or something
he says,
that.
"Dee Dee woman, my toes are cold. Knit me a blanket." She comes in and says, "I don't have time, honey. I'm late for work."
I wonder if she's not from America, because her voice sounds like
weird.
Well, her voice almost sounds like it's, I don't know. It doesn't.
It's like she's out of breath all the time.
She's out of breath, but also there's like weird. I don't know. There's weird inflections,
like a weird inflection, yeah.
and stuff on her voice.
I'm late for work.
Because they never. I'm looking here on her page.
Yeah,
she is voiced.
I looked
by,
her up this morning too.
She is voiced by Ashley Gardner, which also I believe does Nancy Gribble.
I don't know. I don't know how many voices she does.
She does a few voices, but also
I saw
there was somebody from
this
like King of the Hill universe. Well, there was somebody.
A bunch of stuff.
Oh, she did.
She's been in
she did
Beavis
Reverend
and Butthead.
Stroop. Yeah, she wasn't Beavis and Butthead. She did Reverend Stroop. Well, there was somebody from this King of the Hill universe that started their own show.
Oh,
I can't remember who it was or what the name of the show is off the top of my head.
That's a job for you, Artie.
Yeah, it's an Artie job.
So she says, "I don't have time, honey. I'm late for work," and he just starts cackling because women working. That's funny stuff. He said, "That's a good one, baby cakes. Now get your knitting sticks." She says, "You're gonna have to wear your socks, Colonel." And then she holds up these big tube socks. And my first thought is, if he puts on those tube socks, do they go all the way up to his waist? Like, those are long ass socks.
Oh, his socks.
Yeah, those are big tube socks. That come
or they
up
just
to
go.
your knee.
Well, yeah, I mean. I don't know. I think it would probably cover the entire leg. I think the length of what he has of a leg is the length of a tube sock.
That's what I'm saying. It goes right up to his crotch.
To his crotch. Yeah, pretty much.
I wish we could have seen that. I want to see Cotton in tube socks.
I don't know that I would want to see Cotton in tube socks. Do his balls drag the floor? I mean,
do they wobble to and fro?
Yeah.
Tie them in a bow. We go back. We come out of the flashback, and he goes, "Yeah, so I put her on the street just because she held up some socks and didn't knit him a blanket." Dale says, "Good for you, sir. I admire the speed in which you dispatched the insubordinate." He says, "Shut your clam hole, Gribble." Yeah. It's just crazy because Dale's like sucking up to him, and he immediately turns around and just shut your clam hole,
Gribble. Yeah, he doesn't like a what do you call it, like a grab ass. He doesn't like somebody who's
like a suck up.
Yeah, suck up. There you go. Not a grab ass, a suck up. He doesn't like somebody sucking up.
He loves a good grab ass, though.
Yeah, he does.
Hank says,
or he loves to grab a good ass.
He does.
Yeah.
Hank fires back with, "So I guess you're here to cool off for a few days until you two can patch things up." Because that has been a thing that's already been introduced.
Yeah.
That Cotton just comes to his house and stays for a couple of days, and then she comes and gets him. He says, "Nope, this one's for good. I'm here to renew my driver's license. Got the eye chart memorized down at the Arlen DMV. They ain't changed it since World War II. And then he looks at Bill and says, "That's the big one, fatty." Now, I did read a thing this morning where the DMV, people have a problem with them calling it the DMV.
Oh, for Texas, it's
Right.
not the DMV. It's the Texas Department of Transportation that you go
It's
do
the
everything.
DPS.
It's the DPS,
not-
or sorry,
yeah,
the
it's
Texas
not the
Department of
DMV.
Public Services or whatever. Yeah,
So
you have to
safety, yeah.
public safety. Sorry, yeah, not services. But yeah, that's where you go get your license and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So people had an issue with that, which whatever. I don't know that I'm getting that granular, but
yeah, that's super granular.
It is.
Yeah, that is very, very granular.
Hank
But I
said-
mean, it is what it is.
Hank says, "Dad, I don't know about you driving. I don't know that's such a good idea." Dale, of course, being the ass that he is, says, "Excuse me, Hank, I think a man who gave his shins to win the Second World War has earned the right to drive an automobile." and Hank gives Dale the biggest stink eye. Like just he's
Yeah,
just
it looks pissed.
really
Yeah, he
pissed
looks
off.
pissed.
Yeah. We're back at the Hill House. We're around the breakfast table, kitchen table, whatever you want to call it, with Bobby, Hank, Luann, and then Peggy is cooking. Cotton says, "Hank, Bobby, and me are going to rent an RV this summer and drive around the country. We'll do 50 states
It's in 50 days. Of course, there's not 50 states in 50 days that you could do anyway.
Sure. Peggy.
It's not possible to drive to Hawaii yet.
Peggy, trying to diffuse the situation, says, "You know, Cotton, you can travel anywhere in the world in books."
In books.
And Cotton just like, he shudders.
Whatever.
I mean, he's just, ugh.
Hank's wife. Yeah. Be quiet, Hank's wife.
Hank says, "Dad, you don't want to be driving on a crowded highway in the summertime." And then Luann, not helping at all, says, "I don't know. There's nothing like the feel of the open road. You know, Grandpa Hill with an RV, you can put it on cruise control and then go in the back and watch TV."
Yeah.
Which
Absurd.
is ridiculous.
On the Jetsons, maybe.
Hank says, "Luann, please, Dad, with all due respect, I don't think you should be driving anymore."
Don't tell me what to do.
Well,
you ain't my daddy.
He immediately breaks a plate.
Yeah, he does.
And then says, "Don't tell me what to do. You ain't my daddy. I'm your daddy.
I'm on the wall. I can drive a car. Even your idiot friend Gribble knows that."
He says,
said,
"Oh, Dad,
Dale's just kissing
up to you."
Yeah.
He says, "And so should you." Breaks another plate.
Boom.
Then Peggy grabs another plate that he's about to break and says, "Hank, that reminds me, we need some chaperones
for Bobby's class trip. Yeah.
He says, "What kind of trip you taking, Bobby?
Vegas? Yeah, Vegas. No, he said,
Bobby.
There's a General Santa Ana exhibit at the museum. We did a play about him in school, and I was one of his privates.
It was one of his privates.
Yeah, that's kind of odd phrasing. Yeah.
He says, yeah, I know all about Santa Ana. We got his walking log, not leg, but log.
His walking log under glass in Illinois. I'm glad to say."
Peggy comes up and says, "Actually, Cotton, the leg is coming through Arlen. America is finally returning the leg to Mexico." And that really pisses off Cotton. He's looking around the table for more plates to grab.
He's looking
break.
for something to break.
What? God! And then Hank says, "Take it easy, Dad. Take it easy." And then he says, "You see, Bobby, your daddy's geniation, giving away everything we fought for. Panama Canal, Mexican legs. You people would give back Gandhi's diapers if you had them." And then he throws down his napkin and just waddles off in a huff. Which that's how he walks, right? Wouldn't you describe that as a waddle?
A waddle? Yeah. He's like a
penguin.
A really giant man-baby penguin.
He is a man-baby. Yeah. I mean, he even fell in love with Dee Dee because she called him a man-baby.
Yeah, she cooed at him.
Yeah, she tickles him and stuff.
Yikes.
Okay, now we're
Some
at
age play.
Now we're at the department. Well, you got the baby play plus the age play. Plus,
it's a little bit. It's a little bit of everything tied into one. These last two episodes have just been one train wreck after another.
You put those socks on, then you got a whole other play. We're at the Department of Motor Vehicles. You got Bobby, Hank, and Cotton all going in together. And there's a line of literally two people. Yeah. And Hank says, "Oh, would you look at that line? We'll be here all day trying to get them out of there."
Yeah.
And Cotton says, "Oh, Hank, I gutted a man. He whined less than you."
Yeah, that killed me. That was one of the funniest jokes I think of this show, this whole episode.
Hank says, "Why don't you guys get started? I'll be there in a minute." And then, I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm going to mark this.
Mark.
So take it out.
No, you're good.
Hang on one sec. Zach was asking if he can just come on over.
Oh, yeah. Tell him he comes right here and watches record live.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, you saw the live break.
Pull his socks all the way up.
Oh, yeah. Also, while we're broke right here, for our ad break.
While we're broke.
For our ad break, I want to punch the social media. Like, whenever we do like an ad break, I want to punch the social media from Waco Awards thing.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Let me get
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then we'll come up to the commercial break.
There we go.
All right, so we're at the Department of Motor Vehicles. We got Bobby, Hank, and Cotton all walking in. He says, "Would you look at that line? We'll be here all day." There's literally only two people standing in line.
Yeah, just two people. Well, usually the DMV is we don't live in a DMV area.
A DPS.
The DPS office.
Yep.
Yeah. Usually is pretty.
It is big.
I sat in there for 6 hours one time. There's
I don't doubt that.
Standing room only. They were they had the fire marshal come in and had to clear the building out.
Now they've put in all these chairs.
Yeah.
There's probably 40 chairs sitting in there.
Okay.
And you have the booths in the back where the people work. And they make you take a number. You sit down in one of the 40 chairs and you face the other way. Like you can't even watch them as they work. You face the other way and have to look at a TV that's just putting up numbers.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's weird.
But Hank says, "Why don't you guys get started and I'll be there in a minute." And the funniest thing to me is Cotton and Bobby go over to where the forms are, and they're both too short to reach the forms.
Yeah, neither of them can reach the forms. Yeah.
Hank goes over to talk to one of the workers, and he is changing the eye charts with this guy.
Yeah, he gets the guy to shift the eye charts because the only reason why Cotton can pass the eye chart is because he's memorized.
So I got a little something special for you here.
Yeah.
The original eye chart, SDG RWRFP IAUEYNT, next line NSTOMVX. Then there's something on the side. I think it was another letter. And then the last line, the very smallest one's OLUPECBZAK.
And that's like the original one that was created to test people's eyes.
And then here is the new chart. No, this is the one that was up.
Oh.
They take it down and then they put up the new one.
Oh, you're talking about the charts that are there.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about medically.
Charts.
There's like a default chart. If there is,
if somebody wants to do that,
RDX, let me know. Is there was there a default eye chart when they invented eye charts?
That would be nuts if there was like a default one.
A default one, yeah.
Because then you could memorize it.
Yeah, you could.
So the new chart, FVQ, next line, BKEUL, next line, YIHKORG, next line, HCPMTZOS, final tiny line, OWIDVODBLFX.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
I feel like I'm at a spelling bee. And so he goes up to read the eye chart. He hands him a paper, and he says, "All right, Clerky, now take down every first letter of every word I say."
You know what this scene actually reminds me of? Sorry to interrupt you, but
No,
you know
you're
what this
good.
scene? Well, actually, I had a complaint where somebody said that I need to stop interrupting you. That's why I apologized.
Please, no, God no. Yeah.
No, I told him that's a part of the dynamic because I'll forget if I don't say it. But
that's
so
what this show
scene,
is. It's like us going back and forth. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. So this scene reminds me of Pearl Harbor, the movie Pearl Harbor with Ben Affleck. No, not the event. No, it reminds me of Ben Affleck because Ben Affleck couldn't read good. He could see, but he couldn't read good.
Right.
So this is of course, this is the reverse. But it reminds me of him standing there, and he's like that, and he had it memorized. And she was like, "Well, that you got it all wrong." And he's like, "Ma'am, I can't read. I got the eyes like a hawk." He goes, "I got perfect 20/20. Please let me fly."
I can't read. It's a secret shame.
That is a secret shame. Well, I mean, it was the 40s.
You know, I always say
reading
that,
wasn't like necessary, I guess.
Secret shame is something I got from an after-school special. Like, there was an after-school, that was the fun sounds of Rusty drinking from his Sonic cup. It's the ASMR of a Sonic cup.
Yeah.
We should just release that.
Yeah, we should. That hits the track.
But there was an after-school special, and this guy was trying to cover up the fact that he couldn't read, and ended up being his secret shame was that he couldn't read. And so every time somebody
like
every time somebody talks about not reading, I always say it's their secret shame.
It's their secret shame. Well, it is. I mean, I remember graduating high school with kids that struggled to read through the out loud readings. It was terrible.
All right, that's me drinking from a Coke. All right, so he says, "All right, Clerky, now take down every first letter of the word I say. Someday Governor Reagan will run for president. I pass. Give me the license." He's just got it
I
memorized
pass. Give me the
like
license.
That. The clerk says,
"The license is mine."
Clerk says, "Wow, I've never seen anyone miss every single letter. You fail."
Yeah, you fail.
Say, "What? Look again. Someday, that's S, D, as in stupid dummy, that's you. Tell him, Hank." Hank says, "This is an outrage.
We're very dissatisfied customers."
He says, "Come on, Dad, let's go." Cotton's just growling. Now we are back in Hank's. Now we're in Hank's front yard drinking.
Yeah,
they're literally like standing in the yard.
They're in the yard. Yeah, they're way out front. See, that's the one thing is weird to me. So is there when you're standing in the alley and they pull into the alley?
Yeah.
So
there's two ways to pull into this house: the front and the back.
So the garage is a double, like it opens in the front and the back garage?
No, the back. Well, yeah, I guess it does, huh? No, it's a back opening.
It's a back. I don't think the front.
Because when you pull up, you see like Bobby's window there. Remember when Peggy came home drunk and she said, "Oh, little Fauntleroy," or whatever his name was, whatever they were calling him, Little Peter or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the original name she wanted.
I don't
to
think it
call
was
him.
Little Peter.
No, I don't think it was Little Peter.
They're in the front yard, and this is the four guys, and you hear Dale saying, "So you had the clerk switch the eye chart. That's a good plan. If you silence the clerk."
Yeah.
Hank says, "Well, it was one of the toughest things I've ever had to do. I'll tell you what, but my dad's getting close to the end zone, and now I got to start calling some of his plays," which I love that the way that he said it there. Bill says, yeah, I know what you mean. My dad can't even load his own hunting rifle anymore. I mean, I got to put it in his hands, practically pull the dang trigger for him.
Yeah.
Bill says, yeah, that's very sad. Cotton comes waddling out of the front door, and he says, the DMV changed the damn chart on me. That's what they did. You get
the dang old DMV.
You get Boomhauer saying, tell you what, man, that dang old DMV, you take my picture of Hooter that day, man, that 4 years ago looked like Cookie Roberts, man.
Yeah, it looked like Cookie Roberts, man.
You remember Cookie Roberts?
Cookie Roberts, no.
She was a reporter. Like, she was a TV reporter. Had big hair.
No, I don't remember
Cookie
her.
Roberts with the big hair.
I remember Robin Roberts.
Robin Roberts, yeah.
Good Morning America.
She was on Good Morning America. Before that, she was on ESPN. She had a big cancer scare thing.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, pretty like she was on TV for the whole thing.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Her and
she was a trooper.
The guy who hosts the NBA on TNT.
Yeah, very powerful
thing.
woman. I watched her a lot as a kid. So for me, like my iconic news people from when I was watching like news in the mornings as a child, it was Robin Roberts with Charlie Gibson and man, what's her name? It was three of them. It was her, Robin Roberts, and
Sally
I can't remember her name. No, I can't remember her name. It was a white lady that did the news for a long time. Well, I just can't remember her name. Well, I mean, I don't know. It lost me. I'm like,
so,
yeah, it don't matter.
I saw a thing on Reddit yesterday where they said there's a conspiracy. They don't know what it means yet, but they know it's a conspiracy. When you watch TV and you're looking at like a news program, you got the morning programs, you got the afternoon stuff, and then you got the night stuff. In the morning, everything is on the street level.
Yeah.
Like you can see in the back, everything's on the street level. In the afternoon, everything's like up a few floors. And then at night, all the nighttime shows, you're like looking down on the city.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means or what it
I don't know
mean,
what it means either.
It's kind of cool.
It's kind of
they had comparisons. They had photos of all the stuff. Yeah. He said it was one of the toughest things. And then he comes out and says the DMV. Boomhauer says, looking like Cookie Roberts. Dale says, there are ways to get around the license problem, sir. Hank, of course, says, Dale, this does not concern you. He said, for example, you put a sail on your car and call it a boat. Hear that, Hank? Gribble's got a clever idea. Go get me a sail.
It's a stupid idea, Dad. Yeah, put a sail on it.
Dale pipes up again. Well, excuse me, Hank. I guess I'm not as clever as you are. I mean, I could never think of a clever idea like switching the eye chart so your dad would fail the test. Damn it, Dale. He does this every time.
Yeah, he always interferes.
Yeah, and Cotton's like, and Hank's just, dang it, Dale. And Cotton speaks up again. He says, it looks like we got ourselves a Benedict Arlen. I love the fact that he calls him Arlen.
Yeah, I like that too. That's funny.
What do you got to say for yourself, boy? He said, look, Dad, I did change the chart. I did it because I care about you.
Ooh, here we go. Driving. No, there you go. Hank emotions.
Oh, that's true.
Hank and his emotions.
Said you shouldn't be driving. He said, but Dale pipes up again. But he's a war hero, Hank, a world war hero. You should let him do whatever he wants. He says, shut up, Dale. I know what's best for my dad. And Dale literally recoils like,
wow, this one is fun. If you knew what was best for me, you'd have drowned yourself 2 days after you was born.
This is
Goodbye,
rough.
Hank. It's kind of rough. It's really rough. And it doesn't even feel like a joke. Like, you know how they have jokes and stuff like that?
It's one of the worst things he ever says to him.
So far, yeah. I mean, I don't know how worse it gets in other other centric episodes, but I know particularly in this episode that is like
it's pretty terrible to tell your child you should
right
drown
after.
themselves.
Well, not only that, right after he said, "I did this because I care about you."
Yeah. Just
because you don't understand why I did it, because you're 80-something-odd-year-old man that has no.
He's a million years.
Yeah,
old.
he's
So he gets in the car. He's pissed off. He says, "Hank, I'm leaving." You hear the screeching of the brakes, and he pulls out. He runs the car into the hedge. Then he backs up, and then he drives into Gribble's yard. Not his driveway, but his yard.
Tears up his yard.
And says from over the hedge, Gribble, good news. I'm staying with you from now on.
Yeah.
The only thing you hear that, Hank? Daddy's staying with me.
Yeah, that's so weird.
When he
Daddy's staying with
so
me.
Weird.
It's super weird. I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable.
I don't like it. It's
like
creepy.
Hearing
it's creepy as hell.
40-something-year-old man call another 40-something-year-old man's dad daddy. Like I got a friend whose dad we call. It sounds kind of funny. We call him Big D.
Yeah.
You know, like Dad, Big
Sure,
Dad. We
sure,
call
I
him Big
got
D.
you, yeah.
His name's Al, and he's like 6'4". He's like this huge dude, and we call him Big D. You know what I mean? And but I think calling somebody else's daddy just sounds, I don't know.
No, it's
like
really
a nickname
weird.
for a friend's dad is different, especially a friend you've had for like, you know, the friend I'm talking about. I've been friends with him since like high school, junior high.
Yeah, sure.
So
And when you call him Big D, that doesn't sound weird at all.
no, it doesn't.
All right, so
It's
that
not
is
as weird as daddy.
that is a commercial break, and we are going to take one right here, and we will be right back.
Hey everybody, it's Rusty with the King of the Hill podcast, Bwaaa. So we are currently trying to win Podcast of the Year, and we're hoping that you guys could help us out by nominating us on Waco Awards website. If you Google Waco Awards Podcast of the Year, the hyperlink will pop up for you to click on Google's search. Also, on social media, I've posted about it quite a bit, so you guys can go to all of our social media platforms at Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and I have the link posted there on a few different posts, and help us, you know, at least get nominated. If we can't win, it would be great to at least have a nomination in our first year of podcasting, and we hope that you guys have enjoyed the content and continue to enjoy the content for the rest of the year.
All right, we are back.
Yep.
We are at
That was a good break.
Dale's. Yeah, we are at Dale's at the kitchen table, and you got Dale and Cotton and Nancy, and Dale is working on something. He has what looks like a soldering iron / engraver.
Yeah, I think it's like a Dremel.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's like a Dremel tool. And then it's
But
and
what's
what's funny, you see he's dremeling, and then when he's kind of done dremeling, he kind of like tilts it, and you can see on the back of it,
It says cheer.
it says cheer, and I was like, oh damn, that's a Cheerio box.
Cheerios
At first I
box,
thought
yeah.
it was like detergent, but I was like, oh no, that's
Yeah.
Cheerios, like a Cheerio box. So he hands the Cheerio box,
But he's got that jeweler's eye on. He's got his like Green Beret hat on. The
Yeah.
whole thing, and he's working on this
very
fake ID.
clandestine. Yeah.
Yeah. You see Nancy, she sits down with her cup of coffee and she says, "Did you sleep okay, Mr. Hill?" He said, "Yep, just fine." Dale said, "See, Nancy, and you wanted
Wanted to give away Joseph's crib. Best joke of that's my favorite joke out of this whole episode was that, because it took me by surprise at first, because I haven't watched this episode in a while, so I'm listening to these episodes in a whole new way that I didn't before, and I caught that one, and I had to pause it for a minute. I had to laugh on that one.
He said, "There you go, sir. One perfectly forged driver's license.
Good until the year 3000.
Good boy. Here's $1.
Here's
Gives him a
$1.
rolled up dollar.
Gives him a rolled up dollar bill.
He said, and then in comes Joseph. He is putting his uniform from the play in the hamper.
And this is my second favorite joke of the whole episode. He goes,
he's leaning that leg up against the hamper. Also,
Yeah.
fake leg.
and then so you see a fake leg. So that just keep that. That's a thematic.
Yeah,
It's like a thematic element or whatever the show is, that wooden leg. And he goes, "Oh hey Dad, I need you to sign my permission slip for that Santa Ana exhibit." And then he goes,
His voice is so freaking weird.
"Yeah,
too,
his voice changes too.
His voice
like when his
is
voice
so
breaks
weird.
when he goes through like that life
Hey,
change."
Dad, I need you to sign my permission slip.
It's just so freaking weird. He
And
said,
he goes, "Joseph, you know I don't sign any document issued by a government institution. Not even a school permission slip.
"No."
Yeah, don't bring your report card in to be signed. That's a government institution."
So we get a knock at the door. Nancy gets up and answers it. It is Hank. She says, "Hey, Hank." And then you hear a car honking. And Nancy says, "Come on, Joseph, our ride's here." And you just hear "Hot-Blooded" playing out there in the car.
Hot-blooded. Yeah, what's his name came to pick him up?
The Foreigner song. It's John Redcorn.
Redcorn.
Dale says, "Hey, Tokyo Rose, how does your garden grow?"
Oh, they killed me. Yeah.
Now, you get that reference, right?
Yes, Tokyo Rose, for those of you that don't know who Tokyo Rose was in the Pacific when our boys were fighting over there in World War II. The Japanese,
The big one, fatty.
The Japanese military would broadcast propaganda through a voice of a woman called Tokyo Rose.
Yep.
They had a similar one in England where they would have a woman's voice for Germany and stuff
Really?
like that. Yeah, they had similar propaganda where the Germans had. I can't remember what the name of that is specifically because it's not on the top of my head right now. But they had similar propaganda techniques. England would broadcast. It was Lord Haw Haw.
Lord Haw Haw.
Lord Haw Haw was the name.
Haw Haw.
of it. Lord Haw Haw, and it's funny.
You gotta spell that
It's
for me.
funny because my grandmother was born in 1928.
It's like H-A-W-H-A-W?
Yeah,
Haw Haw?
H-A-W. Well, my grandma is still alive, and she remembers listening to the broadcasts.
Listening to Lord Haw Haw.
I think it's Lord Haw Haw. Yeah, Lord Haw Haw was a nickname
Lord Haw
applied
Haw.
to William Joyce, who broadcasted Nazi propaganda to UK from Germany.
Wow.
And he was actually born in New York, New York.
Lord
so
Haw
he
Haw.
was actually an American who went to England, and he was a part of the British Union of Fascists, and then he ended up
I want to
going
be
to
known
Germany.
as Lord Haw.
Yeah, I think
Everybody call me Lord Haw Haw.
he actually got hanged. He was actually hanged by the British government in London.
Wow.
Yeah, they hung him in London.
So Hank is kind of pissed off at Dale. He says, "Don't starve me, Dale. Right? All right, Dad. You made your point. Now come on back. We'll talk about this. I got a whole box of megalo plates you can break."
Yeah, like
he
he got a whole box of plates for him. Yeah,
He says, "I'd rather break Gribble's plates. Thank you very much." And then of course he breaks a plate.
I'm really surprised that instead of like he doesn't shoot like skeet or whatever, clay pigeons. I'm surprised he doesn't do something like that. Instead, he's just breaking.
He just breaks
he's
plates.
just breaking whole plates.
He doesn't
like
care. He's such
for
an
no
ass.
reason. Yeah, he is an ass.
Dale says, "No,
short
thank
ass.
you very much, sir." He says, "I'm done. I'm going down to the drugstore to pick up my shin salve." And Hank's like, "All right, well, let me drive you." Hank really does have the best intentions for his dad.
Always. And he goes, "All right, well, let me drive you." That's
Yeah.
Hank, sorry.
He's-
All right, well, let me drive you. I don't need to. And he goes, "Grandma made me a license." Yeah.
He holds up his stupid Cheerios license
And boom, it cuts, and he's wrecked straight into a meter.
into a parking meter.
Parking
Yep.
meter.
With the
He's
horn
got
just going
change
off.
all over the
Yep.
front of the hood.
Yep,
And,
everything's smoking.
and he says, "I've never seen a meter maid take so long to write a ticket." And then she goes, "Well, all right, sir, please step out of the vehicle."
This is the police woman or the police person.
and this is where he
Yep.
gets very
He says,
inappropriate with the lady.
Woo-hoo.
And actually, I've got the penal code for you here for all
Oh,
of this.
man.
So I'm going to run this down real fast. So slapping a woman on the
Well, we
rear
hadn't gotten
end.
to the slap on the butt yet.
Oh, we haven't?
Hang
That's
on.
it right here, isn't
He
it?
says,
Oh,
"Woo,
okay,
you want
go
to
ahead.
frisk me, Cagney?" Referring to Cagney and Lacey.
Cagney and Lacey.
He says, "Go ahead, and then I can do you." And then slaps her on the butt.
And he slaps her on the back.
There you go.
Okay, so for slapping women on the rear end, it is considered a sexual battery charge.
I don't doubt
under
it.
subsection 22.01, subsection A, subsection
Texas
3
Penal Code?
of the Texas Penal
Okay.
Code.
Yeah.
And it's called a sexual battery charge. So
You
there you
said
go.
penal.
You said penal. You said penal. Oh. Have you watched any of it yet? Any
Yeah, I
new-
watched
Beavis and
some.
Butthead?
Yeah, it was pretty
That's
good.
great. Our buddy Jaden is on the last week's episode, not the one that
Is he
released
really?
Thursday, but he's on the last one.
Oh, wow.
Cody. When you see the character, it's a heavy set black kid named Cody with glasses. He has
Oh,
glasses
cool.
and stuff on.
Excellent. So we then go to the same place. But Cotton, for some reason, is in the front of the cruiser. He's not locked in the back where the criminals go.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the front seat.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Detainment. Maybe he's not being arrested. Maybe he's just
But he
under
can
a
just get
detainment.
out.
Well, can he?
Like in the back,
How
you
far
can't.
is he going to go, though?
Well, I don't know.
How far can a man with no shins run?
So the cop says, and when I asked for his license, he gave me this, and she shows Hank the Cheerios card.
Yeah, it's made out of the back of
He
a
says,
cereal box.
"Yeah, I know it's expired. I'm real sorry about that. He shouldn't be driving." She goes, "Expired? It's not even real.
It's not even real.
Made out of the back of a cereal box." And then you see the cheer again. She says, "Well, you're lucky. In most severe cases of senile dementia, they can't remember their son's names." He goes, "What? He's not senile. My dad's just a character. You know, like a cowboy." Which
Yeah, like a
it's
cowboy.
just the funniest,
Yeah, it was kind of
weirdest
funny.
thing
It was.
to
I thought
say.
that was kind of weird how he said
He's like
it.
a cowboy.
But he is right. His dad, in a sense, and I don't know. I feel like
He's
a
a
lot of people
cowboy.
from that generation, a lot of people that went through,
Yeah.
that went through.
Oh, sure.
That it's just like from Generation X. A lot of the people that are that I've met from Generation X that are extreme characters are all people who served in the Persian Gulf or Bosnia
Right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
And they're all
cowboys.
really eccentric people.
Sure.
Tough times makes tough men.
So then we see Cotton. He's playing with the siren. Hank says, "Knock it off, Dad." So the very nice police person comes over and says, "All right, come on, General Mills."
Come on,
referring-
General Mills,
Referring to the
yeah.
cereal. Says, now I'm letting your son take care of you. You have to promise to be a good boy.
She says it to him kind of condescending. You have to be a good boy.
Do you recognize your son? He goes, yeah, he's a Benedict Arlen.
I love that so much. A Benedict Arlen.
So we're back at Dale's. It's Hank and Cotton in Hank's little truck. I just love that he's got a little red truck. He says, the point is, Dad, you got to calm down. You're lucky you're not in jail. Don't you take that tone with me. I was out buying shin jelly. You show some respect. He goes, okay.
Some shin jelly.
Okay, let's talk about it over dinner. What do you say?
If anybody knows what shin jelly is,
Shin jelly.
please let me know.
Is it jelly that tastes like shins?
Oh, here
or
you
is
go.
it jelly for your shins?
Artie is finally updating his little fact here from this is from earlier.
Okay,
so,
go.
The name of the propaganda woman that was in the Japanese used was called Axis Sally.
Okay.
So they use like generic, Lord Haw Haw.
Yeah.
He's the guy that was like propaganda to Britain. So Axis Sally was, propagandizing Americans. Yeah, you're Lord Haw Haw. You said Sally.
Thanks, Artie. Yeah. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Artie. Appreciate you, buddy.
So they're sitting in the truck. He tells him to show some respect. He says, Dad, let's talk about it over dinner. What do you say? Go get your bags and we'll head on home. He says, oh, sure. I'll be right there. He gets out and goes into Dale's house. The next thing we see, Dale's big bay window opens up. Dale is standing there in his camo and his red or green beret hat. And Dale proceeds to moon Hank. This is the second time in this series we've seen butts.
The second time in the series we've seen his butts.
Well,
because remember,
we saw Hank's butt too.
Oh, Hank's butt too. Well, I mean Dale specifically. So Dale's butt. This is because we saw Dale's butt appeared in the Wimitanye.
So this is a third butt.
This is a third hind end.
We're seeing a lot of butts. And then Cotton, he turns around and leans over to moon him, and you can't see Cotton. And so Dale picks him up and shows his butt to Hank.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. The next thing, we are at the mall. Does not say which specific store. I really want to know what store she works at.
Yeah, I do
That's
too.
just me. Artie, if you have any idea which store she works at, that would be great. Hank is walking into the department. Dee Dee obviously works at like a makeup counter. He says, oh, hey, Dee Dee. Hank. He says, listen, I'm here to ask you for a big favor. You and my dad got to patch things up quicker than usual this time. I'm having trouble keeping him under control.
Oh, there's no patching things up with him this time, Hank. The passion is gone. There was magic between us when we first met.
Now we get another flashback.
Yeah.
This time at the VA. You've got Cotton.
Oh, this is killing me, too. This is one of my favorite lines. I don't know. He has a lot of good lines. He's not being misogynistic or whatever. Some of his lines are really good.
So you got Cotton in a hospital bed next to another poor veteran and says, yeah, I come in here once a year to get my shins drained. I don't take no anesthetic.
Did Lincoln ask for girly gas when they blowed his head off? Yeah, girly gas. Anesthetic is girly gas. If you use anesthetic for anything,
it's girly gas.
Using girly gas.
So in comes the candy striper, which is Dee Dee. Did you know I was a candy striper?
No, I didn't know that. You never told me that.
When I was very young, I worked at Hillcrest Hospital, the old one, as a candy striper. But
did you wear a red and white skirt?
Not a skirt.
Oh, not a skirt.
But a jacket.
A skirt.
We had to wear the jackets. Yeah,
a jacket.
But mostly what I did was I pushed gurneys and I took soiled bedding down to the bottom of the building.
Soiled bedding.
It's a great job.
Well, that's those kind of jobs aren't for money; they're for character.
Yeah, I built some character.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
They're not for money; they're for character.
Character. Yeah, I saw a lot of shin jelly.
A lot of shin jelly.
So she comes through pushing a cart. She says, magazines, candy?
Oh, that would be great for Astroglide.
It's true.
If they came out with shin jelly.
Reach out to us, Astroglide.
Yeah,
we got an idea.
We got an idea.
Magazines, candy, fruit roll-ups. She's got fruit roll-ups.
Yeah.
And she sees Cotton. She goes, oh, look at you. Aren't you the cutest little helpless thing? You're like a little baby in that gown. And then she starts tickling him like she always does. Coochie, 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 coochie. She knocks over the dispenser of the tongue depressors with her big butt, and then you hear, "Won't you sit under the apple tree with
by the Andrews Sisters?"
Yeah,
that song's "Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree" by the Andrews Sisters. So that's a World War II era song about love.
Now I watch these on Hulu, and I have these subtitles turned on so I don't miss anything. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thing pops up. it said that it was playing the Battle Hymn of the Republic or something like that.
Oh, that's
it was,
funny.
it was
yeah, no, it's
crazy.
Don't Sit Under the
Yeah.
Apple Tree by Andrew Sisters, but also the song is about love as well as devotion to one's dating partner and also devotion to one's spouse.
And apples.
And apples.
It's also about apples.
Also about trees and not sitting.
She knocks that over.
Not sitting under apples.
And
trees.
then it's about gravity, ultimately.
Yeah. The
She-
theory of
she knocks him over with her big butt, and the bottle falls over or the jar falls over. She bends down to pick him up, and that's when Cotton sees her big butt magnified through the glass.
magnified through the glass.
Oh, sweet Lord, cling peaches and heavy syrup.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. It's cling peaches and heavy syrup.
Cling peaches and heavy
I
syrup.
don't even know what a cling peach. I know what a peach is, but I don't
know why they're
understand the
called cling
expression.
peaches.
Yeah, I don't
but
understand
they-
the expression cling.
My whole life, they've been called cling peaches for
There
some
you go,
reason.
Artie. That's another one for you, buddy.
Find out why them cling peaches.
What is the etymology of
the word cling
peaches?
In peaches.
Like
Don't
the-
sit
the
under the
phrase.
cling peach tree with anyone else but me. She says it was like Romeo and Juliet. That's how
Yeah,
she
she
says
didn't
it.
know at all. Yeah,
But now the magic's gone. Cotton said my bottom was too small. Do you think it's too small? And then she points her butt at Hank. And
she bends over. Yeah, she like bends over and
he's
points
like,
at her ass.
No, put that away. It's fine. It's very, very big.
Yeah,
And then this is my favorite joke in the entire thing. Peggy comes out and says, "Look, Hank, Isotoner makes sundresses now."
I don't know what's isotoner.
Isotoner is the people who make gloves. Those isotoner gloves, those real clingy gloves that you like, driving gloves and stuff. She says isotoner makes sundresses now. Just the weirdest thing.
So it's like a footwear company.
Well, it's hand. It's like gloves,
Hands and feet.
not feet gloves.
Well, it says right here, Totes Isotoner Footwear Company.
Huh.
I guess it's not a footwear company, is it?
They make gloves, right?
Yeah, they
Am I
make
wrong
gloves.
here?
No, you're not wrong.
Okay.
But again, they have now branched out to hats, scarves, jackets, sneakers,
Sundresses.
sundresses.
Isotoner
Yeah.
is always one of those weird ones that it's kind of like what are the really nice pens you give to people, like the silver pens, like you give to graduates and stuff.
I don't know what they're called. Fountain pens?
No, it's a brand.
Oh, I don't know the brand of pen.
Damn it.
I've never ever heard of giving anybody a pen for a gift.
Oh yeah, it used to be a thing. Like
I
you
would have
give
been
them a
pissed if
pair
you
of
would have gave me a
gloves, or
pen
you
for
give
my
them
graduation.
well, these pens are like $100 or whatever.
Oh, it's like an expensive pen.
Yeah, and you get their name engraved on it or something. But the thing about these pens I always hated is, yeah, they're fancy and they're silver and they're heavy and everything. There's nothing to hang on to on this pen.
Yeah.
It's like all of it's made of this slick silver material, and your hand just like goes down on it every time.
That is a
I
great
hate those
joke, though.
pens.
Now that I know what isotoner is, that is a really good joke because I'm looking on the website and all
Isotoner
they
makes
sell are
sundresses.
gloves, footwear, hats, and scarves. So it is still, yeah, they don't make dresses, but they do manufacture goods. They manufacture goods.
Yeah,
They
and
definitely do
so
that.
I always found that very funny. Like those were some of the things.
If any of you would like to donate an isotoner scarf, I'll wear it on the next recording.
isotoner scarf.
Yeah, no.
What are those pens called, man? I need to know what these pens are called.
The graduation pins.
Damn it, I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, they're very shiny and they're hard to hold on to, just like an isotoner dress. She says, "Uh-oh." She sees the look on Hank's face. She's not going to take him back, is she? Hank says, "Nope. I'm going to have to watch him like a hawk."
Is it a Cross Classic Century?
Cross pin.
The Cross Classic Century medalist pin?
Maybe it's a cross pin. I don't know. Now I've lost interest. So
That was quick.
It was quick. That's today's society. Comment.
Oh, yeah, here you go. I'll just show you real fast.
Yeah.
You're talking about that one. That's the pen for sure.
Yeah.
40 plus years
Yeah,
of manufacturing this
definitely.
pen. Yeah.
And so you would
That's
give it to them in like a wood case, it'd be like, oh, this is the pen you can use.
Yeah, like the
when you-"
personal. Okay, there was like a personalized
It's a
pins. Yeah,
ridiculous
they don't
thing.
do that. That's not
No,
a thing
it's not a
anymore.
thing
It's
anymore.
not a thing.
No.
23 karat gold pen.
Yeah, why would you want that?
$120 pin.
I don't want
What
that.
would you ever need it
I don't
for?
want $120.
You know,
pen.
you know what I bet you
I will take
kids were doing with it?
$120 worth of pens.
You know what kids were doing with it? They were probably selling it for beer and
Sure
weed
they
money.
were.
Yeah,
Sure
they
they
weren't
were.
even. I don't want this pen.
That's
I'm
where-
not even planning on writing this
That's where
season.
crack
this
started.
episode.
They'd sell those
Or,
and they'd buy their crack.
Semester. I'm not even planning on writing this semester. We're just getting drunk. Let's sell all of our pens for beer money.
Let's sell all our
They're all
pens.
lined up at the pawn shop pawning off pens.
And this discussion brought to you by Isotoner Dresses.
Isotoner dresses.
So
Clingy.
we're back at Dale's basement. Dale is dressed in his best camo again. Cotton is on one of those little work stools, and his little legs are just propped up. He's
swinging, he's just dangling. And his legs can't dangle because he ain't got no knees.
And
There's no bend in them.
They're both smoking cigars, and he says, cigar, Hank? Hank says, no. Good, because they all been smoked. And then they just both die laughing. Like, it's just so funny.
I don't know why, but yeah.
He says, yeah, you got me. That was a good one. Anyway, the reason I'm here is to ask you to be a chaperone on Bobby's museum trip tomorrow. I'm going to be one. Dale pops up with, Daddy can't go. He's taking me bumper bowling.
He's taking me bumper bowling.
Bumper bowling.
I don't know what that is.
So it's where they put the bumpers.
Yeah, I got you. You know what I was envisioning right there?
You can't fail.
I was envisioning them in a bumper car hanging out the side of it with a bowling ball just
that would be a better sport.
Yeah, that would be a lot better
sport. Much better sport.
A lot more violent sport.
This one's for like little kids that you don't want them to fail for some reason. Let the kid fail. He says he's going to
bumper bowling's actually really fun. I like playing it with alcohol because you just go there and you just sling it as hard as you can.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It seems like a
barrel. Oof. Oh, that's kind of fun.
So Hank says, "Would you stop calling him Daddy? Come on, Dad. You really be helping us out." And Cotton says, "Well, I've been helping you out, jams your whole life. Might as well keep the streak alive. I'll do it." And then Dale says, "We'll do it." Like he's got a part in this thing. Dale's just an idiot.
And then now we cut. And
we are at the Arlen Museum.
And it's Cotton talking to Con.
Well, he's talking to Connie and like four other kids and Bobby.
But he addresses her
They're just
directly,
gathered around listening. Yeah. She says.
And then you killed the German corporal. This is World War II, Connie girl.
Well, that was Bobby. Bobby says Connie girl. He says this is World War II, Connie girl.
Oh, yeah, Bobby says that. Sorry.
He was a Nazi.
He was a Nazi.
He said, yeah, I severed his windpipe with a 2-foot strand of dental floss I kept in my boot, and that's why it was important to carry dental floss, and then everybody laughs for some reason.
I'm not sure why either.
Yeah.
His stories are crazy
floss.
sometimes.
Dental floss comes back in this.
And there's an episode that kind of touches on some of his crazy military stuff because later on, I think it's Peggy that has to do the fact-checking of his stories because he was supposedly in Europe and the Pacific at the same time or something like that. Remember that episode?
Yeah. And so now the curator of the museum steps up and says, oh, and this is obviously Stephen Root. You can tell it's him.
For sure.
Okay, Tom, Landry Middle School. Next stop is a featured exhibit on Santee Annie's artificial leg. I didn't understand why he calls him Sandy Andy also. I mean, this is the curator of the museum. He really should enunciate correctly.
He should be more professional for sure, but maybe that's just that lackadaisical Texan way.
Peggy
is Sandy. Well, that's the thing is maybe it's if they call him Santa Ana, it's too much respect for who the man is and was. Maybe
I just think it's lazy talking.
Lazy talk.
Peggy says, "What a beautiful prosthetic! Those T-shirts do not do it justice." So they're selling T-shirts with Santa Ana's prosthetic
leg on them.
I would love to have one of those T-shirts.
I would love to have one of those T-shirts too. Maybe that should be our first merchandise. We should just have the word Wimitanye with the leg
Santa
on
Ana's
there.
leg.
Santa Ana's leg on there.
We start a campaign. Give it back.
Yeah, there you go.
Give it back campaign. So Cotton comes waddling up. The curator says, after its brief stay here, General Santee Annie's leg will be returned to the rightful owner, Mexico. And Cotton does not like that. He says, rightful, finders keepers. And Hank's like, Dad, now take it easy, relax. The curator then again says, along with the leg, Mexico will receive a check for the original cost of the leg, $1,300 U.S., and a letter of apology signed by our commander-in-chief.
Oh, that draft dodger, he can't do that. The Japanese blew my shins off. Where am I going to get them back, Hank?
Hank is asked by Peggy to please chaperone his father.
Chaperone your father.
Yeah.
I wonder, what draft dodger? Who was president in 1998? That would be
Clinton.
He wasn't a draft dodger, was he?
That
was there a draft? Was he eligible?
That's what they said. Yeah.
Bill
Clinton? They called him a draft dodger.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
I was too young for that.
He inhaled, but he didn't. Or he smoked, but he didn't inhale.
Yeah, well, that's why. That's kind of why I. That was one of the things one of the many things I respected about Obama was that he admitted. He said, "I inhaled."
Just admit it, man. Get in front of it. Yeah.
And I liked it.
Hank puts his hand on Cotton's shoulder, and Cotton just shoos it away. He says, "Dad, I'm not going to tell you again to zip it." We then transition to the school bus out front of the Arlen Museum of Art. And Peggy's trying to settle the kids down. She says, let's settle, people. And then the curator, you see him running out of the museum towards the bus. He says, all right, stop the bus. It's been stolen. One of these hoodlums stole Sandy Annie's leg. And Hank, just completely fed up at this point, says, oh, all right, kids, listen up. I'm going to close my eyes. And when I open them up, I want to see that leg. You understand? And then he looks out of the bus, and he sees Dale and Cotton over there sneaking around. Cotton is strapped to Dale with the leg on one of his short legs. This is the fake leg he's got on. And they sneak into Dale's dead bug van and peel off. That is commercial break number 2 or 3 in the show, I guess. But anyway, it's a commercial break. So that's a transition, and we're back at Dale's. Hank says, all right, Dad, I'm fed up now. Where's the leg? It's funny because Dale's in the lazy boy smoking a cigar. Yeah. Cotton once again is propped up on the couch with his little legs dangling and just like
dangling
going back
away.
and forth. And Dale's smoking a big cigar. He says, well, I don't know if I can speak to that. I was told to zip it. And Hank says, you know, the whole country of Mexico is expecting to get their leg back on Saturday. He says, delightful. That leg means a lot to them, and my driver's license means a lot to me. He says, what does that leg have to do with your driver's license? He says, use your head, boy. The Mexicans have diplomats. They'll pull some strings, get my license, and then I'll give them the leg back. He says, Dad, the police are going to come after you. He said, that's my offer. Take it back to your people. Your people.
I saw quickly.
Like he's part of it.
Like he's a part of something, yeah. So I quickly looked up about Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton didn't dodge the way a lot of people dodged. Bill Clinton actually had people do him favors like that he didn't ask for because he was a Rhodes Scholar. So due to his Rhodes Scholarship is how he got a deferment from having to be in Vietnam.
The thing is, in our country, though, that you don't want to have to explain that every time, and people don't understand it.
People did it for him.
Well, what I'm saying is people don't understand it, and so, of course, they're just like, draft dodger.
Draft dodger.
He's a draft dodger.
There's no explanation for it. He's got bone spurs.
So Hank leaves, and they both start laughing, and Dale's...
that goes to my argument to why I don't think that Cotton would have voted for Donald Trump was because of the draft dodging thing. He doesn't like draft dodgers.
I don't know who else he would have voted for, though.
He wouldn't have voted. There's nobody worth voting for.
That. Yeah, I think he would have been a write-in for Herbert Hoover or something. You know, he probably would
by this point, he's probably lost his mind. Yeah.
So Dale says they never look in the most obvious place. Colonel, shall we retire to the leg room? And then he opens his front closet, and you see this shrine with horns and a mustache on a pic of Santa
And you also
Ana.
see a bunch of Dale's hats as well.
You see above it, there are dozens and dozens of those orange Mac hats. There are Christmas lights up in there. There's votive candles burning. And then there's a bunch of stink eaters hanging there like that you put in your shoes.
Yeah, it says stink eaters everywhere. I guess it doesn't. I guess that leg don't smell very good.
So we're back at the Hill House, and Hank's saying, maybe that policewoman was right. I've never seen Dad like this before. He's not his crazy old self anymore. He's acting crazy. And Peggy's like, well, stick a pin in me. I'm dreaming. I've been saying that to you for 22 years. And then one of the funniest things is Luann comes running in and says, Aunt Peg, Uncle Hank, I just heard on the news there's a Santa Claus exhibit at the museum and someone stole his leg.
Yeah, Santa Claus. Yeah, Luann's funny.
It's like when she takes the messages from the telephone answering machine.
Yeah, John F. Kennedy called. Yeah.
Okay, so we're back at Dale's. Dale is serving cotton martinis. And he says, Colonel, I just want to say it's been an honor fighting with you against Hank and his forces. You can rest assured I am with you all the way.
Got any little goldfish crackers?
Goldfish crackers? The doorbell rings. Again, Dale has just said, I'm with you all the way.
All the way.
He opens the door. There's cops, and he goes, he did it. He took the leg. It was his idea. You can have it back. Oh, no, it's gone. Where'd you put it? You shinless old freak. Yeah. I mean, he turns on him so quickly when he sees those cops. Oh, my God. And Cotton responds with, what? You're a worse traitor than Hank. I know how to deal with traitors. And he comes at the cops with some dental floss. He pulls the dental floss out.
He's done it before. He can do it again.
The cops are like, sir, you're going to want to give me that leg right now before you get in any more trouble. And he is just struggling, man. He's still got that dental floss out.
Yeah.
Said, I need that leg for leverage in my negotiations with the Mexican government. They took my shins and put them on display in the Emperor's Pagoda. That's the thanks I get for flossing them Nazis. You You tell that meter maid I want my car back. I can drive myself. They just changed the chart. And the cops, again, are just struggling. And he's like,
someday Governor Reagan will run for president. Yeah.
He has just reached his ultimate limit.
Which I think would be the pinnacle of Republican presidents.
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely. That's probably what he'd do, is just write Reagan in again. We are back at the
Zombie Reagan. Yeah, I'm voting for Zombie Reagan.
We're now at
he will return. The second coming of Reagan.
We're now at the VA hospital, and there's a psychiatrist there talking to Hank and Peggy. He says, and we felt the psychological evaluation to come to an end after he claimed
Dr.
Miyoshi's stethoscope was a war trophy. And so they're all standing there, and they've got like this two-way mirror or something, you would think, until you see it later. It's just a big window. And they're watching the patients play cards. There's one just staring at a wall, and this like is the like, end of Blair Witch.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of generational struggles already between Hank and his dad. His dad's becoming an old man, and a really, really old man, and now this really like brings it to a head where it's like he's got to have somebody to supervise. He has to have somebody to take care of him. He can't just be a loose cannon. So yeah.
So he says, "Well, what are we going to do?" And Peggy, with a very happy expression, says, "Just keep him here forever." And the doctor says, "Well, that's up to you. My opinion is that he requires supervision. Either he stays here, or you and your wife need to watch him for 24 hours a day." And as we know, that ain't gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
Peggy is not gonna let that happen.
She's not gonna let it happen.
We hear a bunch of hospital chatter over the PA system as Hank goes into where his dad is, and Cotton is literally strapped into a chair. He's got on leg irons and
he's not like strapped into he's like strapped to the table too, isn't he? Kind of like in his arms, like to the table, or is it to the chair?
I think it's just a chair, but
I thought he was like leaning forward and he had his arms strapped to the table.
It's like Silence of the Lambs. All he needed was that mask. On, fava beans. Yeah. He says, "Hey, Dad, how do you like it here?" He said, "Find someplace else to stand, fatty." And he's talking to this guy who just wanders over and looks at him. And Peggy says, "Oh, see, you know his name already. He made a friend. See, he knows his name." She's just trying so hard to get rid of Cotton.
Look, Peggy, board games.
She goes, "Oh,
checkers. I love checkers. Dominoes, shoots and ladders.
Why, if I didn't have to go to work every day, I'd come here." Just trying to make it so great.
Trying to make it so, yeah.
It's kind of like when you take a kid to kindergarten or something,
Oh, yeah, this place is so great.
It's so fun. Look at that kid over there. He's eating his foot.
Yeah.
He says, "Dad, I know a lot has happened in the last day or so, but I need to know where that leg is." He says, "If I give it back, can I get out of here?" And you start hearing that cracking in his voice.
Yeah, he's getting a little sad here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's finally starting to realize that what he's doing is going to have some repercussions.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, see, it's not up to me." He says, "All right, it's in Gribble's golf bag. I drew a 1 on it and signed it Lee Trevino."
Is that baseball?
He was a golfer.
Oh, a golfer.
Very big golfer. A cousin of
his.
his.
Why did I say baseball? It was in a golf bag. Okay.
A cousin of his used to have a Mexican restaurant here in town
We
called
had
Trevino's.
talked about that before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did that come up in an episode before?
Lee Trevino comes up a lot in King of the Hill for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah.
This isn't that's
no. The name comes up a lot.
Okay, well there we go. That's the second instance of Lee Trevino.
He says,
man, what was that? Yeah, there was an episode.
It was mentioned in an episode somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely was. I know it was.
Artie will know.
Yeah, it definitely was there.
It says, "All right then, Dale's golf bag. Take it easy, Dad." He said, "Don't forget about your old man. You'll come back for me, right,
boy?"
And I mean, it's so sad.
Yeah, it's a sad thing.
I mean, he's a dick.
Like I said, he's a dick. But I'm still your daddy, boy.
So they're driving away, and Peggy says, "Well, it's not so bad in there, really." He said, "Oh, Peggy, come on. That was awful. My father hates it in there, but it's not like I can watch him 24 hours a day." And Peggy's you cannot.
Yeah. He says, "Hell, I better be getting her to sell that propane."
He says,
"Just
wouldn't be fair to you, me, or Bobby." She says, "Well, maybe we're being too picky about this VA. You know, Consumer Reports gave it a B-."
Well, that's above average.
He says that's above average. She goes,
"Well, that's above average." That's what Hank is, though. He's average. He's just an average guy.
She says, "Hank, how are you going to break it to him?" And that almost breaks Hank there.
Yeah, Hank don't like it. Hank don't like it one bit. He's a World War II hero.
So we are back at the VA, and he's staring through that window watching Cotton play checkers. Cotton notices Hank and then sees him start walking over there, and Cotton's got a big smile on his face, and Hank's walking towards him with his head down because he knows he's got to tell his dad this thing.
He's got to.
And then you see the smile just drift off of Cotton's face, which I thought was a really cool moment, especially in animation. Like it was really well done.
Yeah, when you can see the emotion just leave someone's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, so am I going to live with you and Hank's wife? He says, no. But I told you where the leg was. He says, I know. I gave it to the police. Look, Dad, I can't take care of you all day long, and you wouldn't really want it that way. So there's only one other option. In comes Dee Dee.
Yep. What's she doing here? I told you it was over, woman.
Yeah. She says, I told him the same thing. But
he said I had to find something to get the Cadillac car.
So, yeah, Hank
she
lied
doesn't
to
really
her.
sound like that, I don't think. But
Hank lied to her
sounds like
and
to me.
said that she could get the Cadillac car by coming in and signing
And
something.
then, boom, don't sit under the apple tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the weirdest thing. Hank gives a big thumbs up to some crazy dude in there who has a record player with this record on it who plays it at the opportune moment.
OP.
This is the biggest, weirdest setup I've ever seen that would never happen in a VA crazy hospital or whatever.
My son has I guess I had a weird fascination with World War II when I was a kid, and now it's passed on to him. He is now has this weird obsession with World War II, and he'll listen to old wartime songs.
Really?
Like the songs that were created by like the Andrews Sisters to rally the troops and stuff like that. All of the military centric songs and stuff like that. I'll hear him coming out of his room while he's in there playing Call of Duty. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "I'm just jamming, Dad." I was like, "All right, or whatever." You can hear it in the background. It just sounds like World War II pouring out of his room, and it's you go in there and you just play video games.
It's like what's the one with the futuristic? It's got the little guy. The cartoon guy.
Oh, Fallout?
Yeah, Fallout.
Oh, the game Fallout?
Like you hear a lot of that kind of stuff.
Fallout has a lot
too.
of that. It has one of the soundtrack has like the ink spots and stuff like that on it. And I think the Andrews Sisters are on their soundtrack too. But yeah, that's a really good game actually. Yeah, it's got a good soundtrack.
Yeah, so Fallout. That was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, Fallout. Yeah, it's a really good video. It's like a
that in
post-apocalyptic video game is what it is, about nuclear fallout. And the currency is bottle caps.
I'm going to sound super old when I go, the one with the cartoon boy with the thumbs up.
Well, when you said cartoon boy thumbs up, Fallout. That's
I knew that's
what
what
it was. Well, because I knew the music too. Once we were talking about music and you related it, yeah, definitely. A lot of the soundtracks are definitely like that. And that's one of the things I like most about those games, actually.
So as they're playing your son's favorite song, which is Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree.
Yeah, Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree.
She realizes that Cotton's in a little gown. She goes, "Oh, they got you in a baby gown. Oh, look at the baby." And she starts tickling him.
Stop.
And then Hank pulls over the thing of tongue depressors on the little cart.
Yeah.
And she knocks it over again with her big butt. Then Hank turns the jar so that you can see her butt through it again. And he says, "Oh, honey, I'm sorry I said your butt was too small. If anything, it's too big. But I likes you for who you is."
I likes you for who you is.
She says, "Come on, little baby boy. I'll drive you home."
Yes. It's one
not
hell of an
sweet.
interaction.
It's not sweet. It's weird.
It's
because she is possibly the dumbest person on this show. And there are some dumb people on this show. Bill is not smart. Luann is not smart. But I would say Dee Dee is possibly the dumbest person on this show.
Well, let me ask you this. How much thought did it take to be a candy striper when you were a candy striper?
Oh, it didn't take much. No.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
But I'm just saying, even in her general life, she's always like, "Oh, look, there's a bush." Or what,
she seems like, not to sound, in an attempt to not sound misogynistic, she seems like the really ditzy type.
She seems like the dumb blonde,
really,
like
really
the
ditzy,
stereotypical
dumb blonde. Yeah. Please don't cancel us.
No, please don't cancel us.
We barely just got started.
We didn't do that.
Vote for us.
Mike Judge, explain.
Yeah.
So anyway, she says she'll drive him home. We are now outside the Arlen Museum. There is a big presentation stage.
Is that the new PlayStation? The present station.
It's the present station. But it's got like celebration stuff all around the bottom of it. It's got the Mexican flag on one side. It's got the American flag on one side.
Okay.
It's got a pulpit, they're going to give a speech, all this stuff. And Peggy, because they're all sitting in the audience, Peggy, Bobby, Hank, Dale, all the people.
Yeah, everybody's there,
audience. She says, "That is retired Captain Barissimo Defino. When he straps on Santa Anna's leg and walks it from our flag to his, it'll be officially returned to the Mexican people.
And this
she
is a
says,
great
Mexican.
Easter egg for the show. What happens right here, it is awesome to me how all this ends up being and how conniving that Cotton Hill still gets to be from all this. So after this, you get...
But the lady, hang on, the lady on the presentation stage brings over like a violin type case.
Yeah.
She opens it up.
There's
that friggin' leg in it.
Yeah, the leg.
And then...
but if you look at the leg looks...
Oh, sure.
Like the leg that we saw propped up for the prop that Joseph had.
Well, Captain Barissimo puts on the leg, tries to walk over to the Mexican flag, and of course it just crumbles.
Yeah, it just breaks.
It just crumbles. And Joseph from the audience says, hey, wait
a minute. That's the leg I made for the play.
That's funny. Such a callback, right?
It is a great callback.
It's really
and then... good. Boom! It flips again, and Dee Dee and Cotton are standing in the Mexican.
They're at the
DMV.
Departamento de Transporte.
Yeah, Department of Transportation. There you go.
And she says, "Here you are, senor."
Okay, so why do they call it the DMV in Arlen, but down there it's the Department of Transportation?
I don't know. Yeah, it's completely different. She says, "Here you are, senor, one driver's license." He says, "Thank you," and here you are, one Santa Anna's leg, and then fade to credits.
And then we get a really peculiar,
this
unheard
is
of
weird.
voice.
Yeah,
it is weird.
It is like it's like a documentary. Right?
Yeah, and it's also a voice that we have not yet heard. It is Mike Judge. It's obviously Mike Judge, but it's not a character-specific voice. It is Hank-esque being his voice. Being
but what
Mike
we're
Judge's
talking
voice.
about is it brings up a picture, a black and white picture of the actual
leg,
Santa Anna's
and it
leg.
actually goes on to explain, and I'll read this real fast.
Yep.
The story you've just seen is based on a true event. At the Battle of Cerro Gordo in 1847, the Illinois Volunteer Infantry captured the artificial leg of Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, while the general and his men feasted on a lunch of roasted chicken. Unfortunately, for Santa Anna's leg, it still resides in an Illinois museum. If you would like to join the movement to help return the leg to the Mexican people, write Illinois Senator Richard J. Durbin. Thank you and good night.
Real senator.
Real senator.
He was a real senator.
And he was the senator at that time, too, when the show aired. So I wonder, I'll do this research, and we really need to schedule going down to San Marcos to go see the exhibit down there. We need to figure out if we can get our schedules to line up to where we both can go check that out.
Yeah.
I'll pay for gas. And
you heard that, folks.
And we can go check that out because I really want to know if anybody actually sent a letter to this Illinois governor.
That'd be great if somebody did. Because you know that somebody did.
Somebody had to. If it was only one guy, you got to think at this time, King of the Hill is in season 2, hottest shit going.
Yeah.
One of the hottest things going at this time.
Absolutely.
By the time they're in, and this is Stride season 2, almost season 3.
Right.
And you got to know somebody had to.
Oh,
I wonder if he has contact information for him. Is he even still alive?
I don't know if Richard J. Durbin's still alive. We end up with the 20th century logo at the end, and the last thing we hear is, "That's a good one, baby cakes." It's a little quote.
That was his
right
deal. Okay, so I went ahead and looked him up really fast.
Senator Durbin.
And Senator Durbin is, I want to say he's still Senator Durbin.
Oh, wow.
Senator Durbin, the United States Senator, Illinois. Hey, everybody, please send a letter to Senator Durbin.
Oh, my God. That would be great.
To send back the leg. Senator Durbin has to know that.
Can you imagine if people start sending those letters now? Like, he's like, shit, this was 20 years ago, and now I'm getting them again. What happened?
Yeah, he's like, what happened? That'd be funny. So if you guys want to send Richard J. During at
Durbin.
I was about to give somebody else.
Richard J. Dirtbag.
Oh, yeah, Durbin. Okay. He actually goes by Dick Durbin, so it's Dick Durbin.
Dick Durbin.
And, he is currently still the senator.
You know, I got a chance.
He's been senator since the release of this show.
Oh, yeah.
Since 1997, he's been senator.
That's the problem.
He is 77 years old. So if anybody wants to get a hold of Senator Dick Durbin for us and see if he wants to be on the show, let us know. We will gladly talk to Dick Durbin.
Oh, your name's Dick Durbin.
Tell him that the King of the Hill podcast would love to talk to him about some letters. I wonder if that's a memory that's like active in his brain. Does
he have a phone number? Like all senators have a phone number.
Oh, is there a phone
right?
number? Yeah, there's a phone number. Do you want to call it right now or?
Well, I mean, I think
there'd be nobody in the office. Well, there might be. I don't know.
I think that maybe someday during the week, during operating hours, we call and just see what happens.
Yeah, and see if there's somebody we can talk to or something like that.
Let's start the campaign to give the leg back.
There's more than one phone number. There's a phone number for D.C. office, Chicago office, Springfield office, Carbondale office, Rock Island office.
There you go.
So he's the state senator, so he's got offices all over the state. So I guess the D.C. number would be the hotline.
Free the leg.
9 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week. So
free the leg.
Free the leg, guys. We're going to start the Free the Leg campaign. We need this leg. Free
that leg. All right. Well, where can they check us out? Because that is the end of this episode.
All right, guys. You can check us out at BWAAAKOTH on all social media. That's going to be TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. And I'm pretty active on all three of them. And I respond pretty actively on all three of them. And actually, from this episode on, you'll be hearing this at the beginning of an episode because a lot of people don't make it to this far through an episode. So I'm going to start putting it at the beginning. And also, please don't forget to vote for us for your favorite podcast of the year for the Waco Awards. It is a local award show, and I would love to be able to attend this event and represent.
As far as I know, the Waco Awards have been giving away Podcast of the Year awards. This will be the third year.
And all podcasts affiliated with them are Rogue Media Network podcasts. The first 2 years,
both winners were Rogue Media Network podcasts. First year, it was the Private Hip Hop podcast, and last year, it was Andrew G's Public Affair podcast that won.
And this year, you guys could make it.
Andrew G will actually be here in a few moments. He needs to record a PSA.
Oh, cool.
So he'll be here.
I guess he's recording a PSA probably for the Waco Awards.
It's not for the Waco Awards.
Oh,
no,
okay.
No. He could care less. He won last year, and he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Somebody texted him and said, "Hey, you just won." And he ran over there real quick and went up and accepted his award.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm trying to win, so please actively vote for us.
Oh, it'd be cool. Yeah. It'd be cool.
And I'm not trying to win, guys. I just want to be nominated because I really don't care. Well,
I want to win.
You want to win, but
absolutely.
The reason why I don't really care too much about the win,
it's about being nominated. I want to win.
Well, I want to win. Okay, I do want to win. Yeah. My heart of heart, I want to win. But at the end of the day, a nomination would be cool because at the end of the day, we've only been doing this, months. We haven't done it a year yet. We're not even our full year into this yet, and we appreciate everybody that's tagged along. So
no, without you guys, we wouldn't even be talking about this. We really appreciate the growth. We appreciate you telling your friends and neighbors and the total strangers about us. I tell you what, if we come up with some really great stickers, we need to come up with a contest where we get people to follow us or something where we start giving out those stickers. I think
we could do something like that. We could do some giveaway stuff.
Be a really cool contest.
After I watch and use and rip all the commentary off of the DVDs, I think that might be a cool giveaway.
Yeah, give those away. Sure.
Giveaway season 1 and season 2 as a give back. After
give away the DVDs individually.
Get everything. We'll get everything out. Yeah, just one disc at a time. We're shipping out one disc at a time, guys.
Yeah.
All right, but thanks for watching us. You can check us out at roguemedianetwork.com.
roguemedianetwork.com.
Got a ton of great podcasts over there for y'all to go check out.
All right, we'll see you next time, guys.
Wimatanye. Wimatanye.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.